Very happy to join all of you, dear friends of Indore J. Krishnamurthy Study Circle. And this evening, we are going to apply our minds to another very important topic. And as you know, all the topics that Krishnaji concerned himself with are of great importance in real life. They are not mere philosophical explorations going into numerous concepts which may have sometimes some beauty of literature. These topics are rather what apply to us right away in our daily life. And if I may say, these topics apply to us, to our living here and now. Whether we are participating in a dialogue like this or we are engaged in some other kind of transaction, some other kind of activity, whether we are at a public place or in our own privacy, these topics are of immense relevance. So the topic we are considering this evening in India and this morning for me in Texas is sensitivity and how we lose sensitivity. First, I must make it clear what we mean by sensitivity. Someone once said to me, I am very sensitive, and I believed him right away. But later I found out that he was actually hypersensitive. And I also found out uh, when I read a certain book by an author called Eknath Ishwaran, where there was a very thought-provoking statement. These hypersensitive people are selfish people, it was said. You know, sensitivity is most essential. It makes us truly good human beings. But hypersensitivity, that author he called hypersensitivity selfishness. I think it deserves to be gone into a little bit. It is true, if not in all the cases, 9 out of 10 hypersensitive people are so concerned about how they are treated, how they are talked to, how they are received, whether proper attention was given to them well in time or there was delay in giving some attention to them. They are very touchy about those things. And therefore, no wonder the well-known author Ishwaran called hypersensitive people self-centered people. To give an example, this kind of man enters a gathering and for a minute or two nobody says hello to him. He gets terribly upset. Now look at it. He wanted to be greeted. Maybe he wanted some people to get up and welcome him. Is it not very self-centered nature? He can join quietly and in a little while, yes, some interaction will start. Why does he demand as soon as I enter, somebody should receive me, welcome me, say some good words about me? So that me is a little in excess in this kind of behavior. But let me come back now. We are talking about sensitivity, not hypersensitivity. What is sensitivity? In a sense, it is another phase of being aware, living in awareness. In that sense, sensitivity is the absence of mechanicalness. However, we will treat this topic a bit differently. Call it mind or call it the brain. Alas, this brain of every one of us gets stuffed, it gets filled with a lot of memories and reactions. Suppose we had an argument with somebody yesterday, the hangover of that unpleasant argument stays on. Today we are at a very different place, let us say, with very different people, but the memory of how we had an unpleasant, bitter argument with someone or with some people 24 hours ago pulls us down to some extent. Sometimes we are so lost in the memory of how things happened yesterday. Those memories overwhelm us to such an extent that today, nice, pleasant weather, let's say we are sitting out on the lawn at some pleasant place, having some cup of tea, some biscuits with friends. It's in a sense heaven on earth, but the sad memories of yesterday make us insensitive. A friend of ours is saying something and we may not even hear it. We neither hear nor listen. And then suddenly we ask, say it again. What did you say? Can you repeat? Why? Are you deaf? Going by ears, we are not deaf. But going by the brain, yes, we were like deaf. So, numerous disturbances in our relationships in life cause our brain to be tired, our brain to be stressed. We lose certain freshness which otherwise was in our brain. We don't know when, long ago. Long ago, maybe in our childhood, our brain was so fresh. Thereafter, it is accumulation of hurt and pride, sorrow and joy, pride, guilt, shame, all our mind. So, how do we lose sensitivity? In a manner of saying, our sensitivity goes for a toss when we do not have a clean brain. Our brain has to go for a cleansing. No wonder these days, on the plane of the physical body, there is so much being talked about. What is that? Detoxification. Once in a while, especially the little well to do people among us, take a break. Somebody comes back and says, my husband and I have just now come back from a 10 days detox program. So we wonder, what is this detox? Mainly it is at the physical level. They go to some place, Ayurveda or naturopathy, or there are various combinations. So some kind of food, some exercises, and living in a naturally and nature-wise beautiful place, maybe listening a little to some spiritual discourses or bhajans. It's a package and it is called detoxification. But as I said already, a whole lot of such detox programs cleanse the body, cleanse our blood and various organs, various limbs, various parts of our anatomy, maybe the lungs, maybe the kidneys, maybe you know, a medical person would know better where these toxins enter in the food that we eat, in the air that we breathe, in the water we drink, everywhere toxins enter us. And these detox programs do a cleansing. And I must admit that physical cleansing, body cleansing, is in a way related to mental cleansing. To an extent, in these detox programs, to an extent, I should add again, the mind also becomes a little fresh. However, this is where the path of wisdom, call it Jnana Yoga, Gyan Yoga, comes into the picture. With my Vedantic background, I often consider J. Krishnamurti as a very, very fascinating variation, a very fascinating variation of Jnana Yoga. You know, traditionally there is Raja Yoga, Patanjali's asana, pranayama, and so on. There is Karma Yoga, where you do either religious rituals or social work or work in relation to people, and you do not do any of it for personal gratification. Karma Yoga has several facets. You do the so-called puja, worship of God, but you don't ask for a house or a car or a position or victory in election. You just say to God, God, I don't want anything else. Just give me more love to you. Bhakti for bhakti's own sake is a high form of karma yoga. But these days, moment the word karma yoga is used, everybody thinks of serving poor people, serving needy people, and so on. Yes, serving the society. And then I said many facets. One more is to quickly mention, leave alone society and those large numbers, things in public. If you are living under the same roof with one or two people, sometimes in retired life, some of us live just with our spouses. A man is living with his wife. The lady is living with her husband. Day after day, if the man is more understanding, more patient, caring towards his wife, that is karma yoga too. So we jocularly say, to practice karma yoga, you don't have to wait for some disaster to take place somewhere. Then you rush there and serve the people affected. To practice karma yoga, you don't have to look where there is some blood donation camp. I want to donate my blood. That is my karma yoga. Well, those are all right. Those also have a place in the scheme of things. So karma and bhakti and yoga and jnana or jnana. I am referring to jnana yoga now. And I'll connect it to sensitivity at this moment. In jnana yoga, once more of which it seems to me that Krishnaji is a shining example of an exalted form of jnana yoga. More than books, it is through understanding life directly, not via some books, not via some authority, not even through what somebody says in a dialogue like this. All of them are helpful, but finally the buck stops at your own desk. It is on you. It's your responsibility. Don't outsource it. Don't say, using today's corporate language, I am interested in deep inner transformation, but I have engaged a professional to get it done. No professional, no expert, or no guru can, you know, bring about your transformation if you are not involved. So in Jnana Yoga, see this situation of books, the place of books is a very good context where you may appreciate how Krishnaji's light is really an exalted form of Jnana Yoga. It is he who said, throw all books to the dustbin. And when somebody asked him, what about the books you wrote? He said, of course, throw them also to the dustbin. Without batting an eyelid, he said, throw all books to the dustbin. And thereby, rather than literally meaning throw the books to the dustbin, what he meant was don't be a second-hand person. Don't just quote Bible or Gita. Don't just quote Shankara or Matthew or John. Don't just quote Tolstoy or Gandhi, Mandela or some other, celebrity. What do you understand of your own behavior? So coming back, or I think I really haven't gone away from the topic, this lack of sensitivity is all because our brain has got cluttered. It's not just simply getting cluttered, simply that too many memories are in us. As you know, there is something called functional memory. You meet somebody after a long time, let us say, and as soon as you see him in a get together, you say, hey, are you not Sat Prakash Gupta? And Guptaji is surprised. Oh, you remember me after so many years? And you further ask, and where is Sudhaji, your wife? The man is doubly surprised. Oh, you remember my wife's name also so correctly? Now, this kind of memory is functional memory. That is, with respect to people or places or things or events that happened, numbers, equations, all subjects. But memories that rob us of our sensitivity, memories that pull us down and make us insensitive, make us sometimes violent, memories that can make us behave rudely. Sometimes some memories as they rise and we are carried away by them. We are hijacked by them. What happens is somebody is asking for a glass of water and we say, yes, I'll bring it, but we next moment forget it. Because some memory has taken far away, miles away. You know. Yesterday I watched a little quick clip of some lady comedian. She says, these husbands are so insensitive. Comedy. She says, we tell them, I'm getting ready in 5 minutes. Give me 5 minutes, I'm getting ready. But they go on asking every half an hour, are you not ready? Are you not ready? Are you not ready? Every half an hour. Where is the need to ask, are you not ready? When I've told him I'm getting ready in 5 minutes. So the lady comedian is making fun of ladies themselves. It was all about you know women. Anyway, so my issue is ladies or men, doesn't matter. All of us become insensitive. In the beginning of this submission, I talked of hypersensitive people. Yes, I remember Eknath Ishwaran says these hypersensitive people are not sensitive at all. So it's a misnomer. Hypersensitive at first glance might mean very, very sensitive. But the author rightly says of a certain book, they are not very, very sensitive. They have become insensitive. But then why the word hypersensitive in psychology? In a sense, that is right word. They are very, very sensitive to what they should be getting, what they should be receiving from others. I come to your house and you don't even ask me, will you have tea or coffee? Then I go away and tell all my friends, you know what a terrible host he was. He didn't offer even tea for me, and so on. So, what I should have got, you know, that fills my mind so much. So, how we lose sensitivity? That is the last part, but the most important part. That is what is called registration. Somebody praises us, it registers in our mind, it leaves behind a residue, and unless we are very careful, the residue that praise leaves in our mind makes us want such praise once more, again and again. That is where we become imprisoned by our own memories. There is where it becomes a psychological memory. A psychological memory, as I can see it, is something that builds the self and revolves around the self. I visit you at your house, re-extending my example of 2 minutes ago. You not only offer tea and coffee, wow, some rare sweets and some very nice other delicacies. And you and your wife and your children all praise me. Ah, right? So all that registers in me, and I am looking for next opportunity to visit your house, get the same sweets, same delicacies, same praise, same. I want a repetition. In contrast, as all of you know very well, Krishna ji talked about dying. The art of living is the art of dying. Somewhere you are praised. Is it possible for you to die to that memory? Die to that accumulation of, how nice it is. I would like to be praised like this. I would like to be treated royally like this again and again. That kind of building up happens. To die to the past means we let go. In the first place, if we are extremely alert and attentive, those memories do not get registered. Residues will not be left behind. Friends, it will not be an exaggeration to say that mature living essentially consists of going through life, going from day to next day, going from 1 hour to the next hour, going from one moment to the next moment, without allowing self-centered registration in our mind. Know all, observe everything, relate, be loving, be caring, but let your bosom, or you may say, let your brain be free from accumulation of either, oh, I am so good, or oh, I am so bad. Oh, they are talking well of me, how nice. Or they are criticizing me, how terrible. So, in relationships, if we can move without our brain getting burdened with all this junk, then our sensitivity is protected. Essentially, we are sensitive, we are caring, we are understanding. Essentially, we are actually such beings who notice things, whether it is people and their behavior, or a sunrise, or the beauty of nature. We are essentially of the nature of awareness. To observe should come most naturally to us. Alas, this ability to observe, which should come naturally to us, goes for a toss. We tend to be lost in our own memories of the past or their projection into future. So it is all about a cleansing, a detoxification of the brain that can bring to us, that can bring back to us sensitivity. Otherwise, the brain which is getting loaded loses sensitivity. Thank you.
Thank you, Swamiji. Harshad sir, Please unmute.
Yeah. Are you able to hear my voice?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, Swamiji. You have explained what sensitivity means, and probably I think the meaning which we take is kind of awareness of what is happening within us and outside us. So fully aware, just like I would say a cat. A cat is, I have seen how attentive they are looking, but without thinking. And so that kind of looking without thinking, seeing clearly, maybe that is a sensitivity to nature, to human beings, and not getting lost in our own thoughts and feelings of something happened in the past or thinking about the future, but living in the present moment and seeing everything clearly. Uh, I like to say that all these topics which we are discussing, they are kind of a non-verbal state, like love, beauty, awareness, all that is non-verbal, but we are using lots of words to explain something, but explanation is not um necessary. I think for people who are very curious to look at their own mind, because generally we do have a lot of curiosity about the things which are outside, whether it's of politics or economics or science even. It is all things which are outside world. But when people are interested in looking within to look at how these thoughts are coming and going, and if there is any anger coming. So,
What has happened,
Harshad sir.
Bodakji?
Harshad sir is not there, I think so. He has been disconnected. So, if you want to say something, you can start.
Okay, can I speak then?
1 minute. Let me check Harshad is there or not.
Uh, Yeah, he's there,
He is there. One minute. 1 minute.
but his voice is not coming.
Harshad sir, your voice is not coming.
yeah, yeah. I lost the internet
Okay,
connection.
okay,
So
okay,
now it is all right. Yeah.
okay.
So how do we lose this sensitivity? It seems to me that, as Swamiji said, that the children, they look everything very fresh. They are very curious to look everything. And when we go to school, college, university, and we learn so many things, and those what we have learned, it goes on in our mind even when it is not necessary. So our mind gets filled up with lots of knowledge, and that interferes when we look at human beings or nature. And so we lose sensitivity because of too much knowledge, too much intellect, and also, of course, Swamiji said that if our body is not sensitive, then it affects the mind. And so there are certain habits like overeating, not eating proper food, junk food, watching lots of television programs, and there are many reels come on YouTube, and people get lost into watching one reel after another reel. It may be very interesting to watch, but I think it becomes very mechanical, and we lose the ability to see something very fresh in our daily life. So, and some people have a smoking habit, drinking, drugs. They all will lose sensitivity of the body and the mind also. And lack of contact with nature, where people are living mostly in the cities and they are so much socially oriented, they don't have the time to go for a walk alone in nature early morning, where it is very fresh. Then also we lose the sensitivity uh, to see everything clearly. And of course, there are many problems, attachments to ideas, rigidity sometimes about the ideas that what this person says is right and what the other person says is wrong, or traditional teachings versus Krishnamurti, and all that ideas that makes our mind very rigid, and we lose the sensitivity to see things in a direct way. Swamiji talked about ability to learning not through books. Initially, maybe we need a book. One book is enough, I think, of Krishnamurti. And then if that makes us curious to look at our own mind, then we don't need any book. And as Krishnaji says, throw away the books. And we can really, when we become very curious, to learn about our own self and not about ideas of uh, different teachings. So, and uh, competition, comparison, ambition to become, and there are many problems which arise, fear, anxiety, and all that will lose the sensitivity. So people who like to have that clarity, they need to maybe cultivate. Did not like the word cultivate, but one can cultivate good habits like getting up early in the morning, going for a walk, listening to good music, doing yoga and pranayam. And Krishnaji was also doing yoga and pranayam. So to to have the sensitivity, we need to be very curious at our own mind how the thoughts are arising, and that what Krishnaji calls awareness or sensitivity. So I think I have said enough thing. I don't have much to say. Thank you.
Thank you,
Dinesh, you
Harshad sir.
would like to.
Dinesh ji,
Are you able to hear my voice?
yes.
Yes.
According to me, sensitivity is, in case of humans, when we talk, is related to your senses, brain, body system, mind, and cognizance of the data input coming to you from external stimuli. Means, let us be very clear. Sensitivity, in case of humans, when we talk, is related to senses, brain body system, mind, and cognizance of that data input coming to us from external stimuli. How quicker or fast, accurate, sharp, alert the system works, qualitatively or quantitatively, and the result gained by us is sensitivity. This is the basic thing. Now what we do with it is a different thing. JK stresses upon the total sensitivity. which is non-divided, non-fragmented sensitivity, which is, in my view, is rare. It means it covers all. There is no division, there is no fragmentation. It clearly means there is a wisdom and there is an intelligence and there is no I. So that is a rare thing as per me. Most of the people, because of me, I, and ignorance, have divided or fragmented sensitivity. People, as per their psychological traits, parameters, etc., have sensitivity. And as per their liking or compulsion, they are sensitive. Undesirable sensitivity, they suppress. These people keep their which they like, that sensitivity they keep, and undesirable sensitivity they suppress. For example, people are sensitive to money, earning money, hurt. If you hurt them, then they are sensitive to hurt, relationship, etc. When we talk of sensitivity, we also have to consider other aspects like affection, love, and sentimentality. Love we discussed many times. Sentiment is a feeling, emotionalism. This we have to differentiate with sensitivity. The sentimentality is having dependence, attachment, identification, possession, and obsession with various issues. I feel I should do this. I feel I am a great man. I feel anger, etc. are sentiments. Can become hard, efficient, but cruel. It has got mood swings. Sentimental person has got mood swings. In case of affection, one talks things with another. One says, do not be rough, be quiet, sit down, talk to me. I have misunderstood you. I want to talk with you because I have affection for you. So, in my views, this affection is a fragmented love or shade of divided love. Shade of divided love. Idealism is sentimentality, and therefore it breeds hypocrisy, and attachment is sentimentality. So we see that these words are also related to sensitivity. Now one has to see that what JK has stressed. JK has stressed about no polarity, no duality, no polarity. These are JK's words. We want to be aware of the beauty and we shut off ourselves from that which is not beautiful. This suppression merely breeds insensitivity. It does not bring about the appreciation of beauty. The good is not in the garden. The good is not in the garden, away from the village. He was actually talking about village and garden. So people say that in village there is no beauty and in garden there is a beauty. So he said good is not in the garden, away from the village, but in the sensitivity that lies beyond both. To deny or to identify leads to narrowness, which is to be insensitive. Sensitivity is not a thing to be cultivated. which can only, it is not nurtured by the mind, which can only divide and dominate. This is, there is good and evil, but to pursue the one and to avoid the other does not lead to total sensitivity, which is essential for the beauty of reality. Reality can be only when opposite ceases. So he talks of non-polarity, which in my views is a rare thing, basically. A sensitive mind cannot be disciplined. The discipline you practice is out of fear, out of punishment or reward, out of gaining something you want. If you practice a discipline, such discipline makes the brain dull and insensitive. To come upon an extraordinary sensitivity, for the brain to discover it, there must be meditation. The meditation to find out whether the brain can be quiet, free of all the so-called animalistic reactions. So he is actually approaching it with a very different idea altogether. Attention means highest form of sensitivity. So actually, if we see the JK's teaching, he moves around 4 or 5 main words, like attention, like awareness, like love, etc. So he says attention means highest form of sensitivity. Intelligence is sensitivity, which is love. So here he says intelligence is sensitivity, which is love. Again, he says aloneness is not isolation. To be completely alone demands extraordinarily sensitivity, intelligence, and understanding. So, sensitivity in JK doesn't accept the fragmented or divided sentimentally, this sensitivity. Of total sensitivity, which I can't say, but it is in my view it is rare, and we or normally people are having divided or fragmented sensitivity, and that too because of ignorance or other factors. Maybe because of the outer situation, we go for outer situation is suppose. Sorry, there is a call. Suppose there is a outer situation which is pressing a person having to earn more money. His financial condition is down. Then he will become more sensitive to financial issues. He will measure or he will spend the money very carefully. So this is what I have to say right now. Then we will see if time permits. Thank you.
Swamiji, do you want to say something?
Yes. Dinesh ji rightly connected meditation in the context of developing sensitivity. Yes, that word I think neither Harshad ji nor I used, though it is meant. After all, true meditation is not any mechanical practice. True meditation is a gentle awareness where the unnecessary accumulation gets exposed. In our brain, there is unnecessary accumulation of all these sweet or bitter memories. And as we clarified, the memories in terms of just facts and figures is never a problem, but the memories go a few steps further and create a self-image. When I remember how some people talked ill of me, maybe in front of me or elsewhere, but I came to know that memory creates a negative, unfavorable self image. And when I remember pleasant episodes, those memories create a favorable self image. And it is these self images which can be in more simple language called just the self. It is the rising of the self that cuts our sensitivity. And Dinesh was so right in saying meditation is necessary. So, meditation, as you and I evolve, you and I advance a little, is no more sitting at a certain time for so much time, etc. It is, for me especially, it is uh, something that happens anytime really. You suddenly notice something in your own mind, and with great curiosity, with great attention, you begin to look at it, uh, try to understand. Suppose you feel lonely, and for a change, rather than just feeling sad, oh, I'm so lonely, oh, why not I go somewhere, why not somebody come here and meet me? That is all okay. But instead of all that, if one stands apart and looks at loneliness as it is, then something happens. The very constituent parts of that loneliness, certain thoughts have gone in to build that artificiality called loneliness. Loneliness is not natural to us, it is artificial. Certain thoughts, certain conclusions, certain beliefs, and so on, certain conditionings, you may say, make us feel lonely. So, to notice that conditioning, which is at the root of the structure called loneliness, can be a form of meditation. And in that noticing, that false conditioning has to drop away. So I appreciate, among many things that he submitted, the reference to meditation as a great cleansing process. Perhaps we can say meditation also is a detox program, but we should know what meditation is. That's it.
Thank you, sir. Dakshina Murthy, sir.
Good evening to all. Is my voice clear?
Yes, your voice is coming.
Yeah. Thank you, Swamiji, for your talk on sensitivity. As we all know, Krishnaji gave a lot of importance to this aspect of sensitivity and also how we lose sensitivity. Already Dinesh has talked and Harshadji also told. I will add one or two points on this aspect. First of all, in the physical realm, suppose I take something very cold or something very hot, I have a toothache. I go to the dentist and tell him about my problem. He will say, you have sensitive teeth, and he will give you some medicine or some special toothpaste like Sensodyne or something like that, so that the sensitivity of your teeth can be reduced. That is in the physical realm of which we are all aware. But what Krishnaji is focusing here is on psychological sensitivity, which is a way of discernment. In fact, he says intelligence is being sensitive to a given situation. That means if there is acute sensitivity, which means you are acutely aware of the situation. And the intelligence, as Krishnaji says, and as we all know, is a cosmic phenomena, and that intelligence can be awakened only through sensitivity. That is the importance of sensitivity. And to put it very directly, sensitivity means uh, being sensitive to all your sensations. You have got your uh, sense organs, all the sense organs which produce sensations. Those sensations are received in the brain and are you aware of them at every stage. It is an ongoing process. And also, you lose sensitivity because if you choose, suppose you are going in a garden and you see a nice plant with a lot of flowers and you admire it, and after that you see a nala there with the dirty water and smell and all that. And if you say, I don't want to see this dirty water, but I want to see the beautiful flower, that means you are insensitive. That's how we lose sensitivity. Likewise, other aspects like envy, like ambition. An ambition man can never be sensitive because his focus is always on achieving his ambition. So, in the process, he may be hurting other people and he is not aware of that. That means he is insensitive. Likewise, our Professor Krishna, while giving a talk recently in one of the meetings, he was telling sensitivity means your ability to sense beauty, beauty in nature, beauty in animals, beauty in other human beings, and your ability to connect with beauty. When you connect with beauty, you connect with truth, you connect with love. So all these things will go hand in hand. So the aspect of sensitivity is very, very important for all of us, and somehow we lost touch with that, and we become insensitive because of the way we lead our life, the way we become a bit lethargic, insensitive, the way we eat our food and all that, and you don't become active, you don't connect with nature. When you lose connection with nature, you lose connection with human beings. That is also being insensitive. So these are some of the points I thought I will take it up and discuss. And as Dinesh said, meditation is also very important. Unless you know what is meditation and you are able to connect with that strange thing called meditation, you will not be able to uh, increase your sensitivity. You will otherwise you become insensitive. So these are all things. The sensitivity that we are talking about will can happen only in the present moment, not in the past or not in the future, because there the thought is there, and when thought interferes, it will divide everything, and ultimately you lose the sensitivity. So intelligence, which is so important, so essential, and along with intelligence, you have got compassion, and also you have love. Love, compassion, intelligence, and sensitivity, they all go together. That we have to understand. And sensitivity is a gateway to reach those higher dimensions called love and compassion. That's all from my side. Thank you.
Prasad sir.
Yes, sir. First, I want to express my appreciation of.
Tablets and come. Then after 10 minutes.
I hope I am being heard.
And also I keep my mic off.
Okay.
Is my voice reaching or no?
Okay.
No sound.
Okay.
Hello?
Yes, your voice is coming, sir.
Okay, sir. So, first, sir, I want to appreciate the remarks of Swamiji on hypersensitivity. All of us are hypersensitive in certain respects. we want extra attention. We want appreciation from the audience, like that. All those things are indicative of our hypersensitivity. So that is a good distinction between sensitivity and hypersensitivity. And what is we leave out hypersensitivity because that is just a selfishness. That is another.
My part actually is over, but I just sympathetically.
So,
Yeah.
what is
stay with them.
sensitivity? Sensitivity is being perceptive of every situation, both inside and outside. When you are perceiving truly, accurately your inside and also the outside, then I think there is sensitivity. But then what are the factors that impede this sensitivity? Everybody has covered all those things, but on one point, I have some reservations about what Swamiji has said. He has said, for me, tradition is one factor that impedes the sensitivity. When you are full of tradition, your sensitivity is lost. That is why Krishnaji has said, throw away all the books, inclusive of mine. Tradition is basically reference to Gnana Yoga, Karma Yoga, and all this type of stuff is disruptive of sensitivity. You are full of scholarship. That scholarship is not sensitivity. For me, it impedes sensitivity. On that, I have some reservation about what Swamiji has said. And we know all the other things. The one thing he has said is, your brain is stuffed, overstuffed. And all those factors that stuff your brain, they destroy your sensitivity. So, ambition, Parekhji has said, ambition, envy, the process of becoming, your carrying what should be, that makes you lose touch with what is. That conflict between what is and what should be. What should be is an ideal, and that has no meaning unless you are sensitive to what is, unless you are perceiving what is from moment to moment. And then I think Swamiji has said dying. Dying is very important from not only to the past. Basically, our mind is stuffed with memories. Your childhood memories, your professional memories, your specialization, all these things, your hurts, your sorrow, all these things stuff your brain. And they are disruptive of sensitivity. You are no longer sensitive to what is happening before your eyes. Your senses are not fully awake. They are, because they are cluttered with all this stuff. Your ambition, you want to succeed. All these things. And that detoxification is a good word. The brain has to be detoxified. Yes. And then, as Dineshji has said, and Swamiji has said, meditation is actually the process of dying to the past, dying to everything. And that is living in the moment. Whatever prevents you from living in the moment, that is disruptive of your sensitivity. And as Mr. Dakshina Murthy has said, sensitivity is the door to other things like freedom, freedom of the mind, freedom, love, all these things. So this is the door. And sensitivity basically means your brain should be de-stuffed. That is the word Swamiji has used, and I like it. It should be de-stuffed. Your brain is full of your attachments. And another thing is the wholeness of life. We are forgetting that life is whole. You are immersed in your business, you are immersed in your family attachments, and you forget the rest of the world. Unless you have that defragmented approach to life, you can't be sensitive. Thank you, sir.
Swamiji,
Yeah. I would like to respond to Prasad ji when he said tradition is, if I could word it in my own way, tradition is opposed to the living in full awareness. I fully agree. That is how, for now, some 25 years, I have been studying Krishna ji very regularly, in spite of his coming down heavily on tradition and in spite of my being into tradition to some extent. But while I fully appreciate the criticism of tradition, what I have actually noticed in the world, I'll share with you what I have noticed. Lot of people feel a little elevated by exposure to certain traditions, and then at a later stage they find the limitations of tradition. So they pass through traditional training to rise to certain level of understanding. So in a summary fashion, it's possible to say that tradition blindly followed makes one very mechanical and probably brings about no change at all. But tradition followed guidance, with guidance from people who have some insights. Among the traditional teachers, please do not make a hasty conclusion. Among the traditional teachers, 5 out of 100 have tremendous insights into certain deeper levels. See, Swami Venkateshananda was very much into tradition, but he was able to hold. He held dialogues with J. Krishnamurti, and they are part, I think, of that book, Awakening of Intelligence. So Swami Venkateshananda, and like him, some Jewish rabbi or some Christian padris, etc. In Mumbai, every month, one Monday, I also join sometimes. There is a get together presided over by a father, Father Prabhu, Lancy Prabhu. And his PhD some 30 or 40 years ago was into J. Krishnamurti. So he is into Christian tradition. I am into Vedanta tradition. And there are many who are into some other traditions. And yes, I agree with Prasad ji. There was a time when we were holding on to tradition, and when we look back, that was quite, immature. Looking at those immature relationship with traditional wisdom, it deserves to be criticized. But it's a journey. You enter through the portals of tradition, then slowly you become aware of their limitations. Then there are higher levels, and somewhere you begin to truly appreciate this living in awareness. Otherwise, many of these words go above one's head. That's what is happening in the world. Large number of people cannot understand J. Krishnamurti at all. That's the fact. You people here are a very small minority. Majority are unable to make head or tail of Krishnamurti, is the fact. but they find their mind, feeling a little bit of peace. They do a lot of charitable work. Go and see Satya Sai Babas, people. Oh my God, how much seva they do, how much service they do. Though it may not have much value from a very high point of view. Yeah, you may finally say all that doesn't really bring about deep transformation. Yeah, no deep transformation. But they've spent some years in that. And the same person who could not make head or tail of Krishnamurti at one time, later on, maybe be softened by or mellowed down by or brought to some semblance of order by traditional methods, begins to understand Krishnamurti. So there is some kind of place for tradition in that sense. Vimla Takar herself slightly differed from J. Krishnamurti, though otherwise she deeply drank from the wisdom of J. Krishnamurti. In her works, at certain places, she begs to differ from Krishnaji. She also makes a place for tradition. Yeah, higher you go, tradition becomes unnecessary. But the fact of the matter, let me say this and conclude. In this world, a very small number of people are able to appreciate certain pure concepts. The or pure concept also may be a bad word here. The pure definitions. For them, a definition of love or service or selflessness, definition of goodness, all these things has to have some supporting concepts. Then only they make sense of it. But it's a journey. They go further, and at the right time, I guess, they drop all those unnecessary supports and understand what is true goodness. Otherwise, for them, goodness has to be framed and packaged and you know presented in some particular way. Then only they understand goodness. So yes, if anyone is able to see the limitations of tradition right away, that's wonderful. But most people find tradition helpful through a certain phase of their journey. Then they wake up to uh, a greater perception. Thank you.
Thank you, Swami. Dinesh Waghmare.
Yes, in my views also, tradition is very helpful. And what Prasad sir has said, he has not gone deep into the tradition. That is what I think. In tradition, also there is a not hypersensitivity they use word, but extended senses. Yes, when you get the clairvoyance and other siddhis, your senses become very extended, and they can give you the insights which Krishnamurti is talking. They can give you the insights which are not normally available to any normal person or common man. So that is one thing. Another thing is this detoxification. This is even Patanjali Yoga Sutra says has given detoxification. Even the Vedant, Shat Sampatti and Mumukshatva, prior to that there is a this detoxification. So unless Vairagya and all that. So Vairagya means what? Vairagya means detachment from the all this thing, worldly affairs. And negation means what? Krishnamurti's negation is what? That is also in one way in Vairagya. So one has to go deep and understand what is behind the words. And as Swamiji rightly said, under the guidance of a guru, one can reach to that point. And he can understand even if he wants, he can understand JK also. That JK is the other side of the coin. He can very well understand. So whatever comments Prasad sir has made, I am having difference of opinion. and one has to go into deep, and then only he can make such comments. Thank you.
Harshad sir.
Yeah. Are you able to hear my voice?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, I agree with Dinesh ji. What I mean by tradition is that some extraordinary human beings have lived on this in this country, like Buddha or Ashtavakra or Kabir, and they have said something very, very extraordinary, just like Krishnamurti. So sometimes when I read Ashtavakra, I said, this is what Krishnamurti is saying. So because Krishnamurti condemned tradition, all the followers of Krishnamurti, they are condemning tradition, but they really don't know what these people, extraordinary people, have said, which is very, very similar. And there was one Buddhist scholar, um, Krishnamurti said to the scholar that you are repeating my words, and the scholar said, no, Buddha had said the same thing, and you are repeating Buddha's words. So I don't think we should get into this controversy that what Krishnamurti says is the only thing and all the tradition we can discard. It's not like that. And as Swamiji said, that very few people can really catch Krishnamurti at the root. Because to understand Krishnamurti, one has to look at one's own mind in a direct way. And when a person is able to do that, then we'll say, oh, what Krishnamurti says is quite obvious. So, yes, there is a beauty in looking directly, even forgetting Krishnamurti. Krishnamurti you can read a little bit, but when we begin to look at our own mind, then there is a real beauty, sensitivity comes. We can't decide to be sensitive by reading a book. Only when we are able to see clearly our own mind in a direct way, then this sensitivity will come as a byproduct. And then we will listen to somebody who even says something unpleasant to us. We can listen, and that listening is the sensitivity, not immediately reacting to it. So, all this, everything finally comes down to looking at our own mind as it is, and that you can call it meditation. One doesn't need to use the word meditation and give a special meaning to it. Just looking at what is happening within us moment by moment, fully, with full attention, that you can call meditation. And that really clears up everything. And then we really don't need Krishnamurti also. We don't need any tradition. We can speak from our own direct insight, and that is a real beauty. And then we will not get carried away by the words people use, because in this field we are using too many words, and then ideas, comparison, all that analysis, that is not necessary. Only what we need is a direct looking at our own mind, and that is what I call sensitivity. Okay, thank you.
Dinesh, you have raised your hand.
Yeah. It is very interesting that J. Krishnamurti also said that there is a difference between activity and action. How many people have gone to that deep? What is the difference between activity and action? Action means, he said there is no background and it is a immediate response sort of thing. Whereas activity is based on all your experience and all your past recordings and all that. Of course, here I am having some slight difference of opinion that even action is also having a background. That's what I think. because otherwise how action can take place? When brain is completely empty, you will be like a zombie, So how you will be able to take any action? Anyway, he says that perception is action, takes place, which is immediate, and intelligence comes into the picture. Whereas activity is activity done by the eye. So one has to really go into that deep and understand what he is saying. Then only one can, I think, then one will know that many times his approach was just to awaken the people, and he will, you say something and he will start from the opposite side of it. You can watch. Even his own words give some reference, and he said no, that was bullshit, and he starts from a new direction. So it is very interesting, and J. Krishnamurti is very difficult to understand, very difficult, because what he is doing actually, that one has to understand. Many times he's most of the most of the times he will just speak something which is to awaken you. He will immediately, he is so sensitive that he will see that where you are locked, and to addressing to that, he will say something. So in particularly in case of the limited people dialogue, you will find this thing more prominently. Thank you.
Yeah, may I make a comment here?
Yes.
Yeah, you know, when a person reads Krishnamurti, just like they read history or geography, trying to gather some ideas, concepts, and then think about it, then it's very difficult to understand Krishnamurti. But when you directly connect to your own mind, when you read a little bit of Krishnamurti, then you will see that yes, what he said is quite simple, very obvious. Like it's like saying that when there is a light, there is no darkness. It's as simple as like that. So when there is that awareness, awakening of awareness, all the problems which are created by thinking, they go away, like fear, anger, jealousy. So only when a person is able to feel that way, then we'll say yes, it's very simple. But people who try to understand Krishnamurti, they will get lost. You can't understand Krishnamurti like the way you understand geography or history, because Krishnamurti is talking about your own mind, about the human mind. And in a direct way, when you can look at your mind, then it's very simple. So that is a difficulty, that our mind is more directed outward than inward, and that's why Krishnamurti is very difficult. Yeah, okay. Thank you.
So time is now up. So we have to be sensitive to the time itself. And so thanks everybody
Thank you.
for participation.